Hello folks, today I'm going to show you how to do one of these, which if you're a Sea Scout you should be able to do one of these as part of your seamanship badge qualification. It is of course a Sailmakers Whipping. It's much more secure than a common whipping or a West Country whipping, and very common in the day when you had to serve the end of a piece of natural fibre rope, which this is. This happens to be Manila rope, 3-strand, right-hand lay, which most ropes are nowadays, right-hand lay. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. And while I do that, just to give you something to watch, while I really fill you in on a channel update and tell you what's been going on with me. Anyway, so I'm going to do one of these for you to watch. This one I did with some sisal line, which would be normal for this. But when I demonstrate it to you, I'm going to use this. So it looks a little bit less like sleight of hand. You can see what's going on. So the first thing is to trim the fuzzy end off of this. So as I said, this is 3-strand lay. These are called the strands. The smaller parts of the strands, these little numbers here, are called the yarn, and then after that it's fibres. And by the way, the Manila rope is made from a plant called the abaca plant. It's native to tropical Pacific. No plant grows taller than 6 feet long, 6 feet high. So you know that any length of rope, if you've got a 100-foot length of rope, it's interesting to think that you know that no one fibre is any longer than 6 feet. The first step is to cut the fluffy bit off the end, the unlaid part. You can get right-hand lay, by the way. It's usually for special, that's called cable laid. This is called hawser laid. Cable laid is for special purposes. Actually, it used to be used in the old sailing ships for the anchor cable, which is why it's called cable laid if it's left-handed. This is right-handed. You can tell because if you point it away from you, you can see the lay spiralling away right-handed. But anyway, I digress. So there's the end finished, cut. You take a length that you're going to use for your whipping, and you make a loop with a short end and a long end. Meanwhile, you unlay very carefully the end of the line and slip, see if I can do this, slip the loop over one and then the short piece and the long piece between the lay of another, and then you very carefully close it up, and I will do that and then I will show you. So you can see there that the loop emerges, one piece either side of one strand, and then you've got two out the other, and you can see that you do that business. You leave that loop down, sort of fold it out the way, put it under your thumb, and then you make turns around this end like this, and there's a little ditty, a little poem that helps seamen remember which way to go where, and it goes, worm and parcel with the lay, turn and serve the other way. What it means is any turns that you put on, a serving basically is anything that kind of is lashed round a rope to stop it from unlaying, or work done with a small line on the end of a larger line. So that would be a serving of sorts anyway. So if you're putting turns on, you would go worm and parcel with the lay, turn and serve the other way. So you would go against the lay, traditionally. Probably, practically, it doesn't make much difference, but anyway. So if it's right-hand lay rope, I'm going the other way with my turns. And then you put as many turns on, really you should go, the minimum it should be is the diameter of the line that you're serving, that you're putting a whipping on. So I'm going to do that. So you may have noticed that not much has come up from the Scout for Life channel lately, for the past month or so. There's a reason for that. We had we lost a family member just before Christmas, and you know, to be honest, it took the wind out of my sails, quite literally, for a little while. I made a couple of videos actually subsequent to then, but they didn't really have the zing. They weren't the quality to which you've become accustomed on the Scout for Life channel. So I didn't put them up. So this is really the first one since then. So that's why you haven't really seen much. So this is really the getting back in the saddle video for that. I just thought I'd do something simple and useful. As I said, this is part of the Sea Scout qualification for the seamanship side of things, but anybody that works with natural fibre ropes or even synthetic fibre ropes, you can do this with synthetic fibre ropes, but there's an easier solution which I'll come to later. So you put enough turns on like that. That's roughly equal to the diameter. Oh, I'll put another one on now. Having done that, you take this loop, and what I'm going to do is follow the lay that the two legs of this loop are coming out of, and I'm going to pass this loop over the top of that strand of the lay. Passed it over like that. And sticking out the other side, there should be a short end, and you pull the short end to tighten up. I'll show you, hold on. You pull the short end, it tightens up. I'm just going to make sure it sits nicely in the top there. Sort of work it in. And you can see that that's the first part, and really that's the most difficult part. It looks very nice, very professional and neat, and it's a piece of cake to do. So there's only one part of the lay remaining, so you peel that away, and this, the short end, follows that, like so. And with the short end and the long end, you just do a reef knot in that. But when you tie the reef knot, you make sure that it's buried down in the root of the end of the rope. So, last night I was at a hangout, which was a lot of fun. It was really nice seeing the folks enjoying themselves. All chit-chat, sort of a Saturday night thing. There was, I think Handy Camper got it started. It's, I think it's on Google Hangouts, but it's essentially a live streaming. What you can see down there, look. There's the knot down there, look. So that's the first part. Reef knot, right over left, left over right. That's the last part of the knot going down in the middle. And then when you've done that, you kind of make it look pretty, and that's what you end up with. Could be a little neater, yeah, like that. And then what you do is cut the end of the rope off, including these two ends, so the knot is hidden. Don't go too close to the whipping, otherwise you'll clip the reef knot and then it will come apart. Just enough so that the knot's there. Just realised that I ran out of storage there. Anyway, here it is, the finished item. This one with natural fibre, the sisal, and the one with the yellow synthetic, just so that you can see what's going on there. You can see it's very handsome. Nice way to finish the end of a piece of rope.